What's up YouTube, I'm Vaughn, and this is the Gear channel where we discuss collectibles, hobbies, competitive games from tabletop to video games. And today we are trying something very different because we're doing a combo tutorial, not like we usually do, but this time we're doing with our best hand as possible because we have done 1 card combos, 2 cards, some hand testing, matches. So definitely check out my Ogdoadic card playlist because there's actually quite a bit of content over there, and especially for combo tutorials, and there's also a bunch of different like decks as well. So if you guys do enjoy playing Ogdoadics and you're looking for different varieties, there is some over there. There's a few I want to update, like pure Ogdoadics, so I definitely want to update on that one for more today's format. But definitely we're trying something brand new just so you guys have an idea of what would be our end board if we had the perfect hand. So before we begin, a friendly reminder, as always, to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel a lot and I do really appreciate it. So our starting hand we do have is a quick launch. We have a Chaos Space, we have a Shadow Light, we have an Abs, and a Nunu. Now the reason why I think this is the ideal hand is because not only are we going to go off going first, this is very good for going second. So if you're against multiple interruptions, you could definitely play around it with a hand like this. Now, Floodgates, not really the same, but also I could say the same that if we get Shift or Withdrawal, this could definitely be impactful, but I didn't really want to put a Call by the Grave in or a Gamma just for what if, so definitely, but I'm looking forward to test and see what we can make with this hand. So we're starting first. So the first thing we're going to do is Nunu to send the Zora. Then we're going to use Quick Launch to go and special summon the Tracer. Then Shadow Light to special summon the Star Liege. And we're going to trigger Star Liege now to send the Abs to go and add the Nocto. And then we're going to trigger the Abs to add a Recharger. So now we're going to be able to activate the Chaos Space to go and ditch the Recharger to add a white. Now once we add the white, we are planning on special summoning it, then linking, and then Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Nocto 3. So special, we're going to go add and add once more the boot sector. Okay, now we're going to go and special summon the black and then use Chaos Space to go and perp back. So we draw, so we're going to increase our hand. Now we're going to make Omega, triggering the black to add back the white. And now we're going to go and activate the Omega to hand rip our opponent. Now we make Rom and Nocto. So we're always doing Rom Chainlink 2 because we definitely do not want to draw into the Dragon Ravine. And since we're doing quite a bit of deck thinning, this is very important to do. So we're going to go and add, and then we're going to draw. So our hand is looking kind of weird, and we are going to trigger Zora, but I just want to say, like, yeah, we drew into a driver, we drew into this. We don't really want to see those as draw, but it's okay. At least we're using the majority of the cards that we are playing with and not really looking for a top deck. So at least that's good for a combo tutorial. Okay, so now we're going to go and use Zora, and then we're going to go in normal because we didn't normal yet. Use Nunu, and we're going to overlay those two. Now remember to overlay the Nunu and the Starlies because you do want the Starlies in the graveyard, and I'll show you in a minute why. So we're going to activate King to add the Naya, and then we're going to trigger the Naya to go send the Curse, and then trigger the Curse to tribute the King of the Pharaoh Imps, and then spell summon the Naya so we could add the Water Lily. Okay, now this is a very important play. So if you guys notice a lot of our Ogdoadic combos, there's one key thing that you need to note, and that when you are ready to activate your Water Lily, you need at least one Zoa and either a king or a queen to do your combos, okay? So if you don't have either of the king or the queen or even the Zora, then you won't be able to do your Ogdoadic hand rip and the spell summon combos. So you always need at least 2 out of the 3, and also you need, to make sure that you have 4 reptiles so then you get the spell summon when you foolish. But that's very impactful. So right now we don't have king or queen in the graveyard, so we're going to have to add it right now. So we're going to make our second king of the Pharaoh Imp to go and add the king. So now we have to send the king to the graveyard. So we're going to go Dragon Ravine, go ditch the king, okay, to send a Chaos Levy. And now we're going to use Starlies to go and add back. And we're going to go and banish 3 darks to go and hand rip our opponent once again. So there we go. Very nice. Now we're going to go and link and make Saruja to make follow-up play. Now, a lot of people underestimate Saruja, but let me tell you, for a lot of the combos with the Pitsy, not just that, but also just to spell summon monsters from your hand is very impactful, and it's definitely mandatory. So I would rather Saruja over Appaloosa any day, and this card just helps all the time, especially if you want to make your monsters even higher attack. You can definitely do that as well, which is pretty cool. Okay, so we drew into a Darkest Diabolus, we drew into a Queen, a Chaos, and then a Therion, so not bad. We need a level 4 dragon to really extend, but that's okay because we're going to do some cool plays with this as well. So we're going to go and put back, so leaving us with just that. So the first thing we're going to do is spell summon Chaos Creator. Then we're going to go and do that. And yes, you could select your opponent's banish. So the card that you banish with Omega is going to be put back, so your opponent won't add back a card, which I love doing. So we're going to spell summon the Star Leash. Okay, now link it for a Bitsy. Then we're going to go and use Bitsy to spell summon the Tracer. Now use Saruja to spell summon, so we're spell summon the Darkest Diabolus. Technically, we should have done that first in case if our opponent had Nip. So that should have been the first play to do, is spell summon Darkest Diabolus before even doing the Chaos Creator. So, it's okay. It is what it is, but still adds up to the same. Okay, now we're going to go and hand rip our opponent one more time. Okay, now we're going to link for a seal, and now we're going to do the Wild Lady. So we go and we spell summon our Queen because we're not doing the Zora play just yet. So we want to get towards this point and just have extra body. So technically it could have been any reptile. I just went and spell summon the Queen instead. So now we're going to go and use our King to tribute both to go in special. Okay, now Steel and Darkest Diabolus is going to trigger. Actually, yeah, it wasn't any reptile. It just had to be a dark reptile. That's why, because I want to trigger the Darkest Diabolus. So yeah, that's why we went and spell summon the Queen. Now we go and spell summon our amazing Magnemite with our seal, which is amazing because now we're going to trigger the effect so we could actually add. Okay, now we make our Dispatter, use the effects, spell summon the Omega, then use Omega to go and hand loop one more time. Now we're using the Therion, okay? And the reason why we're using the Therion and why we didn't care to bring back the Zora was actually so we could do this play. So now we're going to use the Queen to go and spell summon her. Okay, Zora's effect is whenever it's sent from the field to the graveyard. It does not have to be in the monster zone. So you can actually do a cool play with the Therion and then tributing the Therion, so you don't have to waste more resources on bodies just to get like that extra 2 or to get Zora back to the field. So this I thought was really, really cool. Okay, so now we're going to go trigger Zora. So we're going to add the Flow Ghost, and then we're going to ditch the Overlord because we just want to have Overlord in the graveyard. So if we didn't have it in our hand, we were add the Overlord and then send it, okay? So now our opponent has to go send 1, and now we trigger King and Queen. So we're going to special summon the curse and then send, and now we're going to go and overlay for a Lancelot, which is a negate. And now the cool part's going to happen because Magnemite is going to resolve on the end phase. And look at that, okay? Our opponent has no cards in hand. We have a Omni Negate. We have our Bestial Dispatter as well that acts as another interruption or negate as well. We have the King, and then we have the Queen, and then we have our Dispatter, not Dispatter, Draw Swarm, okay? So these two act as an interruption as well. Plus you get to special summon, so you get or Overlord, which is a Zeus. So in total, we hand loop, and this is actually almost considerably be 3 interruptions on our opponent's turn. If we're able to actually resolve both the effects and spell summon and then use that, that's actually 6 interruptions, and we hand looped our opponent. And they don't have that many cards in the graveyard or banished. And the best thing on our turn, if we're able to actually get rid of this or have something to interrupt it or stop it, on our standby phase when Omega comes back and they get back the card, that will also trigger our King once again to hand loop our opponent once more, and then we can special summon. But a lot of times we might have to deal with something like this, so we might not be able, unless if we have a quick effect that could actually interrupt before. Who knows, if we didn't use a Draw Swarm, we could actually chain Draw Swarm on draw phase, so it uses the Lancelot negate, and then we could go and do the hand whipping and play more, and then we're all set. Or if our opponent manage to top deck a back row and set it, we might not do that. We might just summon Omega and then just put everyone in attack mode and then just attack directly and hope for the best for one negate. But definitely a cool combo, and I love this deck so much, and I'm happy that it's 40 cards now. And that's it for a combo tutorial. Now, if you guys enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. And if you want a sneak peek of future products we're planning to review here on the channel, you can follow me on my Instagram, VaughnGear. I'm Vaughn, and this was the Gear Channel.